Welcome to Pan African Perspectives, your weekly live stream where we talk about all things Africa and Africa related. I'm your host, Joe Hatago from Authentic African. And today we are going to talk about Detty December. What you saw in that video is what many people think it is all about. And I want to tell you that it's not all there is to Detty December. So we're going to talk about it today. For those of you who aren't familiar with who I am, I'm the founder and CEO of Authentic African. I do weekly live streams on all things pertaining to the continent of Africa and its advancement, and of course, helping it get back to its rightful place on the world stage. Those of you who are not familiar, come check us out every Monday where we go live with different people who have businesses on the continent, people who've moved to the continent, and I tell my personal story and the story of others. I myself will be in Ghana at the end of the month, next month, and I'll be in Sierra Leone for a portion of the month before I go to Ghana. This is a yearly practice for me, going all the way back to 2018. So we're now in 2025, and every year since 2018, I have been spending the end of the year on the continent of Africa. So now let's talk about it. This year is expected to be a record-setting year. But first of all, before we get into the content for today's live stream, can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? Give me a thumbs up. I haven't done this in a while. And let me know where you guys are watching from, just so I know that you guys can hear me and you guys can see me. So let me know where you're watching from and give me a thumbs up so I know you can hear me. I don't have the mute button on, but I just want to double check. All right. Now, while we wait for that, I presume you guys can hear me because I haven't seen anyone say we can't hear you. So I know that there's a little bit of a delay by the time those things come in. So let's talk about the live stream. Let's talk about Detty December and what it's all about. Because, I've had this conversation with people on so many occasions, and people always ask me, like, what should they expect when it comes to the December holiday in West Africa, specifically in Sierra Leone and Ghana. Specifically in Ghana. And, what is the hype all about? So let's first just talk about the numbers, right? Because I think that's an important thing to talk about, because I don't know how many people are familiar with how many people have been going to Ghana through the years since the year of return. So just to kind of give you those numbers, and then we'll lead up to where we are today. 2019, 1,100,000 people went to Ghana throughout the entire year. From what I remember, about 500,000 visas were issued. That was a number that was told to me that year. Ghana made about $3 billion that year in revenue from basically what happened in that last month or so of the year. Now, that happened to be the first time I went to Ghana, and it was a life-changing experience. If you see me talk about before, I ended up moving to Ghana within 12 months of that experience. 2020, there was a impact of the global sickness, as they are calling it on these social platforms, so that you don't get smacked with the demonetization. But that number was 355,000. I also happened to be in Ghana that year as well, and only 355,000 people went to Ghana in the year 2020. That was my first year in Ghana, but it was the end of the year. So I got there at the end of that year, and it was a really, really light year. The next year, that number jumped from 355,000 to 598,000 people, and that's in 2021. So in 2021, 598,000 people went to Ghana. 2022, 662,000 people went. 2023, that's when we saw it return to pre-pandemic numbers. That was 1.14 million arrivals in 2023. That actually eclipsed the 2019 number for the year of return. Last year, in 2024, it was 1.28 million arrivals. And now, for 2025, I want you guys to guess what you think the projected amount is. Before we get into it, though, shout out to Made in Africa, aka Yeah, let's just go with Made in Africa. What's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome back to the channel. Um, so some guessed it. It is close to 2 million, but the actual number is 1.7 million is the expected amount of people who will be going to in and out of Ghana for this year. A little over, some people say 3 to 400,000 to 500,000 to 1 million to 1.3 million. There's all kinds of numbers about what people think the numbers are going to be in this condensed period. So what are the economic impacts of people coming? Number one, the average visitor spends over $700 per day. That's on average in terms of what they say in terms of the amount of spend versus the number of people who come. Obviously, I don't think that many people spend that much money, but people spend a significant amount of money when they go to Ghana in December. And then the average stay is 22 nights. So I find that a lot of people go right around mid-December and they leave right after the first week in January. I myself will be on the continent all of December, and I leave the first week in January because I have to be back in the US for a conference. In terms of where the visitors are coming from, this is usually helpful for people to know who to expect to see. So the number one group that they call out in these surveys and these numbers in terms of the visas and people who are coming in is the United States. Now, granted, there are many people with ECOWAS passports who may be U.S. citizens as well. So that percentage is probably even higher than what we see. But the number one group of people coming to Ghana is the U.S. in December. Next, believe it or not, is Nigeria. So although Nigeria has its own Detty December, the Ghanaian version attracts a lot of Nigerians, and I've known people to do kind of both. In Ghana and in Nigeria, I've met people who kind of do both. Many people that I know. And then lastly, the UK is the last group, the third largest group of where a lot of the visitors come from. Now, this year is called, December in Ghana 2025. Obviously the year of return and beyond the return festivities were really under the previous administration. Every year up until this year, from the year of return, had been under Akufo-Addo, the former president of Ghana. Now, the new president, John Mahama, has a little bit of a different process for what he's doing. And we're going to be talking to some people maybe next week or starting in December to kind of talk about the differences and the distinction between what's happening in December currently under this current administration and what happened in December under the previous administration and what the differences are, because that year of return and beyond the return was really a branding based on a previous administration. There's a new administration, a completely different party, political party. So the question is, how different will it be? I am sure all of the enjoyments, the fun, the partying, the night outs will be very similar to how it's been in the previous years, much like the video that you saw to open this live stream up. But in terms of the nationwide events, there'll obviously be concerts, there'll be festivals, there'll be culinary shows. And it won't just be in Accra, but outside of Accra as well. The official December in GH campaign is what they're saying is bigger and better than ever. The cultural connection, the ultimate diaspora homecoming, of course, is what people are calling it. What I'm working on getting you guys is an event guide for those people who want to come. So we'll let you know what concerts, festivals, what events are happening. We'll make sure that we give you guys the details on what's happening on the ground. I will be vlogging, going live, etc. while I'm there, so you guys can get a chance to see what my experience is like while I'm in country. So stay tuned to that. I got some Meta glasses. I don't have them on right now, but I will be utilizing those glasses to go live so that we can get a feel for what is happening on the ground. So you'll get my point of view, POV view through my lens, figuratively speaking and actually speaking, to see what life is like on the ground there. So I'll make sure that you guys get a chance to see that. But yeah, you guys let me know what you're looking forward to, and if you're going. If you are, hit me up, shoot me an email. My email is easy to find. and let me know if you guys are actually going, because I definitely want to see who I can meet who will be attending this year. So again, just on the numbers, they're expected to be 1.7 million people in Ghana this year. Average visitor spends around $700 per day, and the average stays 22 nights. Don't know how many nights I will be there. Still working out the details on how long I'll be in Ghana. I know for sure what day I arrive in Sierra Leone, and I know for sure what day I leave in Ghana, leave from Ghana to come back to the States. So John is saying, greetings. This is so important. 2025. I'm supposed to be in Ghana next month, December. Nice, John. Well, hopefully we'll get a chance to catch up in person. So, guys, if you're interested in learning more about what's happening during the month of December in Ghana, let me know in the comments. Whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, let me know, because I will be talking to, we got Ivy Prosper on next Monday, where we will be covering off on a number of different things, but we can also include this in our topics of discussion if that's helpful and interesting to you all, because obviously Ivy worked for the Beyond the Return activities, the Year of Return and Beyond the Return, when she worked for the Office of Diaspora Affairs. She worked for, was it the Office of Diaspora Affairs? No, it was the Tourism Authority. Sorry, Ivy worked for the Tourism Authority. So she will be able to give some insight into what she's hearing on the ground and what she experienced in previous years from someone who was from the inside, right? So we'll definitely have the opportunity to tell you a little bit more about what to expect, what to anticipate, what she's looking forward to. Now, let me tell you what I'm looking forward to, because I think, most people like to go to Africa for just the partying. And for me, look, to be honest with you, I'm not going to be out at the clubs like that. I mean, I'll go to events here and there, but I'm really looking forward to doing the things throughout the day, the full immersive experience of, as a diaspora, and what it should be like for you to come there. Of course, the nightlife is a great experience, and I definitely recommend it for anybody who's planning to go. If you haven't, it will be a time for sure. I've done it already many times. And, of course, I'm also at an age where I don't do the nightclub thing, like many people do. I'm not standing on couches, drinking out of bottles, doing all that stuff. That's just not my thing. I don't even drink alcohol anymore. So for me, it's the full experience. And also, too, hearing from people on the ground. I want to talk to people about their experiences and what they're learning. We'll talk about the cultural exchange. We'll talk about the relationships that people have and make and create while on the ground. I mean, there are lifelong friendships, lifelong partnerships, lifelong relationships that happen during the month of December. And I'm looking forward to, giving a firsthand look at what that looks like on the ground in person when I get there. I will be in Ghana at least by the 20th, no later than the 20th of December, in that range. I plan to be there earlier, but no later than that, I plan to be there. So if you guys are going to be in country, hit me up and let's see if we can meet up at one of these events. I'm not doing any meet and greets officially, but I'm definitely down to meet up with folks at the different events, since I'll be there. And you'll see some of the usual suspects that you guys might be familiar with. Some of my good friends. I'm looking forward to bringing them back on the platform and having them back. And so, yeah, so stay tuned for sure on that. What's up, real estate guy? He says, what's up, everybody? Okay, so really quickly, a couple things that I also want to mention that we haven't really talked about, and I want to just make sure you guys are aware while I have your attention, is the YouTube channel. We've been going live with videos pretty consistently over the recent weeks, and I want to just make sure you guys are aware of the content that I have put out. So we got a pretty extensive list of videos that we've been putting out. And so we just want to make sure, one, you guys are aware, and two, you guys know where to find them. So if you guys are not up to speed, let me share my screen really quickly, and so you guys can see what to focus on. So the live stream, so if you hit the home button, you'll see that I'm live right now, of course. And you know, you can see here the videos. So just went live with Margaret Deborah from Ito. Didn't go live, sorry. Just the video just went live with Margaret Deborah from Ito. We talk about Ito and her life and her moving to Ghana. So check this video out. Pretty good, you know, number of views on this one so far. I think people are really resonating with her story and what's going on there. I also went to El Greco and I share the story of El Greco with Fatimata Soa, who most recently was managing some things there. She now is, they're now using her company as their social media. And so there's going to be a new manager there. So we'll be doing a new tour of this location. But this is one of these places that's an Airbnb and a restaurant in Sierra Leone. We got the gym, the one and only Royal Fitness Gym in Freetown, Sierra Leone, really right in the Godrich area, next to the Juba Barracks. You know, it is not cheap, but it is a high-end gym in Sierra Leone. You got my video at Banana Island that I recently posted. I have my interview with Mr. Njai, and then the tour of his housing facility that he's built out there in John Bay Beach. This is Taft Salon. So anyway, check out all of this stuff. If you want Sierra Leone content, all of this content going back is there. You can also set up to make sure you're aware of when the upcoming premieres are coming. I got Alita Israel, a sit-down interview with her, and a tour of her property in the neighborhood that she's helping folks build. And then, of course, you know, I have other content from Ghana. So you'll see back and forth between Ghana and Sierra Leone. Right now, we're in the Ghana era. So over the next couple of weeks, couple of months, it will be all content from Ghana. You'll probably see some of my videos of me building my house sprinkled in here and there. But if you guys are interested in seeing what life is like in Ghana for those who have moved, who are building businesses, who are, you know, living life on the continent, specifically in Ghana, you'll see a lot of that here. Airbnb tours, interviews, tours of businesses. I mean, you guys are going to hear from those who lived in the diaspora, right? People who grew up in the UK, people who grew up in the US, other parts of the world, and have moved to Ghana. Because I know that's what you guys have been asking for, and that is what you're going to have. We're in the middle of editing a ton of stuff right now. I have a bunch of videos queued up and ready to go. I'm looking forward to sharing that. As you can see, the quality is increasing. I will tell you, I'm going through and looking at some of the final edits on some of these Airbnb tours and some of these businesses and these interviews that we've done, and I'm really proud of the content and the quality. And so stay tuned. If you like this interview with Margaret from Ito and some of the other content that you've seen recently, stay tuned because the content only gets better, and not because of the guest, but because of, you know, the equipment that we're using. We finally have upgraded. We're shooting everything in 4K. We're making sure that we are maximizing you know, the quality here, and so that you can, you know, you guys can watch this channel and be proud of what you see, and you can share it with your friends and family. We're taking things to the next level with this. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Every Saturday and Sunday is when new content is coming out, and you can see this is all the content that's been coming out over the last couple of months. I've tried to be pretty consistent with content that I've been putting out, so you can see all of the content that I've been putting out over the last couple of months. So stay tuned. I mean, I'm operating under, you know, the assumption that you guys are not always notified that a new video has been dropped. So I'm just reminding you all that it has been. A couple people have mentioned to me that they don't see the notifications anymore. And so I just want to make sure you guys are aware that these videos are dropping. So, make sure you head over to Authentic African on YouTube. You want to click on, you can either at home, but I would say click on videos, because at home, you know, it's not always in order, right? So you just kind of have sometimes just some random videos, and I have some playlists that you can find here. So when you click here, you want to just go to videos, and then you want to make sure that the one that says latest is highlighted. And so just check that out. Now, if you're up to date, or you watch all the recent videos and you want to see what everybody else has been watching, then you want to click on popular, and that'll tell you the ones that were the most popular videos on the platform. We found that, you know, all kinds of different videos have been catching the eye of people. What's one that started to creep up out of nowhere is my Creole lesson from 2 years ago, learning to speak Creole with Bintu, who is a content creator living in living in Sierra Leone. So this video has actually started to gain some traction over the last couple of months, really, because I shot this video 2 years ago. It didn't have that many views, but people are starting to watch this more. So just come and check this out to see if there's anything you didn't know. For those of you who are interested in visiting Sierra Leone, the 10 things you should know before visiting Sierra Leone. I shot this quite a while back, but still really relevant. So you can check this out. There's a part 2 to this. So at the end of this, if you want to know, you know, the additional things, and there's a part 2 and a part 3. So if you just watch this video to the end, you can get to the part 2 and the part 3. And you can see other content that I've shot with people in Ghana and Sierra Leone. And of course, this was an interview from Tanzania with a Maasai villager who explained what his life is like living on the continent. All right. As Made in Africa just said, Menelik, aka Menelik, says like and share to the live, like and share the live, and support the channel. Yes, please do that. And if you want to support in any other way, you can support in these other ways. It's not a requirement, obviously. If you can, feel free to support. That information is down here on the screen below you. If you're watching on YouTube, I don't think if you're watching on a vertical video, you can see it. So only if you're watching on YouTube and a couple of other platforms, you can see the scrolling banner on the bottom of the screen here. If you're watching the vertical video, it probably doesn't show up, but if you're watching the wide shots, that would be Facebook, YouTube, probably X, and another platform. But yeah, make sure you support the channel in any way that you can. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to share this with anybody you know. And on that note, guys, I have to jump. Of course, it's the middle of the workday. I am leaving very shortly, and so we got to scramble to get some things done before I head out of the country. So with that, I want to thank you guys all for joining. And if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below, whether you're watching on the live stream or you're watching in the replay. With that, guys, thanks for watching. See you all in the next video.